What if I told you that in just 90 days, your entire life, the way you think, move, speak, decide, and create, could transform beyond recognition? Not someday, not when things feel right, but in 90 days of exact, deliberate repetition, saying 11 phrases that hold within them the hidden architecture of success. What if, 3 months from now, the version of you that hesitates, that second guesses, that watches opportunities pass, was gone, and in his place stood someone sharper, calmer, wealthier, a builder, a leader, a creator of circumstances instead of a victim of them? That's not fantasy, that's formula. And if you've ever read Napoleon Hill, the man who interviewed the wealthiest and most powerful minds of the early 20th century, you already know, success leaves clues. It isn't luck, it isn't talent, it's law. And these 11 phrases are how you speak that law into motion. But let's be clear. This isn't another motivational pep talk. This is a 90-day challenge to your old self. A war against the smallness, the hesitation, the noise, and your only weapons, your words, your repetition, your belief. Because words aren't decoration. They are commands written directly into your subconscious. And what you repeat with emotion, conviction, and vision, your mind must obey. So here's what you're going to do. For the next 90 days, you'll say these 11 phrases every single morning and every single night. You'll write them, whisper them, live them. You'll let them carve new grooves in your mind until your identity catches up with your destiny. But first, let's anchor this decision right now. If you're truly ready, type it in the comments. I attract success. Because the moment you write it, you've started the process. 90 days, 11 phrases, one decision to become the person Napoleon Hill wrote about, not the dreamer, the doer, not the student, the master. This is where you stop watching change and start speaking it into existence. Let's begin. In the early 1900s, before the world had ever heard of self-help, before the term mindset was even a thing, a young man named Napoleon Hill made a decision that would shape the next century. He spent more than 20 years studying the world's most successful people, Carnegie, Edison, Ford, Rockefeller, and discovered that success wasn't random. It followed a pattern, a code. These men, giants of industry, visionaries of their time, all shared one trait in common. They spoke their success into existence before it arrived. They built empires not just through action, but through belief, through a level of certainty that infected every cell of their being. And Hill realized something most people still ignore today. Your life will always rise to the level of your words, not the words you say once, the ones you repeat daily, faithfully, emotionally, the words that echo in your mind when no one's listening, because your subconscious doesn't understand jokes. It doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's rehearsed. It only knows what's repeated. And repetition, not effort, not hustle, not luck, is how identity is rewritten. That's why Napoleon Hill taught autosuggestion, the deliberate planting of thoughts through spoken word. Say it with conviction. Imagine it as already done, and your subconscious will rearrange your reality to match, not someday, now. So when I tell you to say these 11 phrases for the next 90 days, understand this isn't superstition. It's strategy. It's how you impress a new pattern on your subconscious until it becomes law. Because think about it. Every result in your life, good or bad, started as a pattern. Patterns of thought, patterns of speech, patterns of belief. And if your current results don't match your potential, it means you've been running old code, outdated beliefs, unconscious affirmations of limitation. I'm not ready. I don't have enough. I always mess it up. You've been affirming your own smallness without even realizing it. But here's the truth. You are not bound by your past programming. You can rewrite it word by word, phrase by phrase, choice by choice. That's what the next 90 days are for. Not to wish, to recode. Because 90 days isn't magic. It's math. 90 days of focused repetition is enough to shift your identity, to carve a new default into your nervous system. Enough to make success feel familiar and struggle feel foreign. But it starts with decision. And if you're watching this, if something inside of you lit up the moment you saw this title, that's not an accident. It means you're ready. It means you've tried willpower. You've tried motivation. Now it's time for reprogramming. These 11 phrases are not random affirmations. They are identity codes, pulled from the essence of Hill's teachings, designed to install the mindset of wealth, purpose, and power. And for the next 90 days, they will become your daily mantra, your invisible script. When you wake up, you'll speak them. When you go to sleep, you'll breathe them. And slowly, day by day, they'll start speaking back to you. You'll notice the world responding differently. People treating you differently, opportunities showing up, doors opening, coincidences aligning. It's not magic, it's alignment. Your outer world catching up with your inner command. Because the man or woman you want to become, confident, wealthy, disciplined, calm, isn't waiting in the future. They exist right now inside you, coded in words you haven't spoken yet. And tonight we unlock them. So breathe deep, let your shoulders drop, and prepare to receive. Because what comes next isn't motivation, it's reconstruction. These are the 11 phrases you will speak, repeat, and live for the next 90 days. Each one is a key. Each one opens a door. Each one, when spoken with belief, reshapes the way you see yourself and the way life responds to you. This is the language of destiny, and tonight you're about to learn to speak it. Let's begin with the first. The first sentence is, I am the master of my destiny and the captain of my thoughts. Say it softly once, then again with conviction. Now feel the weight of what you just said. You are not a passenger. You are the captain. And every thought you think is a direction you give to the ship that is your life. Every idea, every mental picture, every word you allow to echo within you. It's a steering wheel, and for too long, most people have let their ships drift. They move according to the winds of circumstance, the tides of opinion, the storms of fear, but not you, not anymore. This phrase is your declaration of control, a reminder that no matter what you see right now, the helm has always been in your hands. You don't wait for conditions to change. You create new conditions through the command of thought. Napoleon Hill said it clearly. Man can alter his life by altering his thoughts. Your destiny isn't written by luck, by politics, by the past, or by chance. It's written by the silent script running inside your mind, the one you're about to rewrite. So let's begin to feel what this really means. Close your eyes, take a slow breath in, and imagine yourself standing on the deck of a great ship, the air crisp, the horizon wide open before you. The ocean stretches endlessly, calm, powerful, alive. This is your life, your journey. Every wave represents a possibility, every gust of wind a choice. You walk toward the helm, the wheel of command, and place your hands on it. It's heavy, made of old oak and brass, warm from the sunlight, solid under your grip. For a moment the ship drifts. The winds have been steering it, not you. But as you grip the wheel tighter, you feel something stir in your chest. Focus, presence, will. You look out at the horizon, endless blue. Somewhere beyond it lies the life you've imagined, the freedom, the wealth, the calm. It's there, waiting, but it won't sail to you. You must steer toward it. Whisper to yourself, I am the master of my destiny. Say it again. I am the captain of my thoughts. With each repetition, feel the wheel move slightly. The ship begin to respond. The sails shift. The wind adjusts. The ocean, once wild and aimless, now aligns with your intent. You glance behind. The past, distant now, fading into mist. The regrets, the doubts, the hesitation, all shrinking. They were never chains, only echoes, and echoes fade when the captain speaks. You inhale again, deeper now, and feel the truth settle in your body. You've always had the power to steer. The storms never took it. The critics never held it. The fear never owned it. It was waiting for you, this moment of command. Now you begin to speak. Each thought, a compass point. Each word, a course correction. You think clarity, the waters ahead clear. You think faith, the winds grow strong and steady. You think discipline, the ship cuts through the waves with precision. And now, with a steady hand and a steady heart, you steer toward the horizon of your choosing. This is what mastery feels like. Not force, but direction. Not control over everything, but clarity over yourself. You no longer react. You respond. You no longer drift. You decide. Every morning from now on when you wake, say this phrase aloud. I am the master of my destiny and the captain of my thoughts. Not as poetry, as a contract, because your thoughts are the architects of every future event you will live. And if you don't command them, someone else will. There was once a man named Daniel, 48 years old, accountant, father of two. Every day felt the same. Commute, office, noise, exhaustion. He told himself he was stuck. He told himself life had already been decided. But one night, scrolling through videos, he heard this phrase, I am the master of my destiny and the captain of my thoughts. Something clicked. He wrote it on a note, taped it to his mirror, his car dashboard, his phone screen. Every morning, he said it out loud, even when he didn't believe it. And something began to shift. Not the world, not at first, but him. He noticed how often he spoke defeat, how often he surrendered before trying. So he started catching himself. Every time he said, I can't, he replaced it with I choose. Every time he felt trapped, he asked, what's the next move? 90 days later, his habits had changed, his posture had changed, even the tone of his voice had changed. He started a side business, landed a promotion, and felt more alive than he had in years. He didn't manifest magic. He manifested mastery. And it started with one phrase, said with faith, over and over until it became identity. Now, it's your turn. Say it once more, slowly, with intention. I am the master of my destiny and the captain of my thoughts. Let it sink in. Let it echo, because every repetition is a command, and your mind obeys the voice that speaks the loudest. Make sure it's yours. Now let's move on to the second sentence, which is, my mind is my greatest asset, and I use it with precision and faith. Say it slowly. Let it roll off your tongue like a truth you've known all along. My mind is my greatest asset, and I use it with precision and faith. This is not a metaphor. It's not inspiration. It's economics. You are, at every moment, investing your mental capital. Every thought you entertain is currency. Every belief, a seed that compounds. The question is, are you investing in your wealth or your weakness? Napoleon Hill once wrote that the mind is both the richest field and the most dangerous battlefield. In it, you can plant golden crops or poisonous weeds, and the soil never judges. It grows whatever you sow. So if you want a life of power, wealth, calm, and direction, you must treat your mind like a vault, guarded, deliberate, selective. You don't leave the door open. You don't let thieves walk in. You use it with precision and with faith. Precision means you choose your focus like a sniper, not a wanderer. You feed your thoughts with purpose. You direct your attention like a spotlight, not a candle. Faith means you trust the process, even when the results haven't yet appeared. You understand that just because you can't see the roots doesn't mean the seed isn't growing. Faith is the bridge between vision and evidence, and when you combine both precision and faith, you create a mind that no longer reacts to life, but architects. So now, let's anchor that truth inside you. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Inhale through your nose. Hold it. Exhale slowly. Now imagine your mind as a great library. Tall ceilings, infinite shelves, endless corridors, filled with books. Every thought you've ever had is here. Every idea, memory, worry, hope. You walk between the shelves, and as you pass, you notice how crowded it's become. There are books you don't remember writing, titles like I'm Not Enough, What If I Fail, Maybe Later, It's Too Late for Me. They're dusty, heavy, and dim. But next to them, you see others, glowing faintly, almost calling to you. I am capable. I am resourceful. I am guided. Everything is possible for me. You reach out and pull one from the shelf. When you open it, light spills from the pages, warm and golden, and you feel it travel through your hands, up your arms, straight into your chest. You breathe deeper. You feel taller. You feel calm. You walk further and see a large desk in the center of the library. On it lies a quill, a blank page, and a single sign engraved into the wood. Write only what you wish to live. You sit down. The chair molds to you perfectly. You take the quill and begin to write, I am the master of my destiny and the captain of my thoughts. My mind is my greatest asset, and I use it with precision and faith. As you write, the ink glows, bright, alive. You realize each line you write here becomes a command issued to the universe. Every word is law. You pause, hands steady, eyes clear. This isn't a dream, it's governance. This is how you rule. Not through control, but through clarity. Now stand, look around. The library begins to rearrange itself. Old books crumble, vanish. New ones appear, fresh, bound in leather, gleaming with gold letters. Abundance, vision, wealth through service, faith over fear. Your library is alive again. Your mind is renewed because you finally took the role of curator, not collector. Take another breath. Smile slightly. You feel the weight of ownership. You know now, nothing in this library enters without your consent. Nothing stays that you do not allow, and everything written with faith returns as reality. Open your eyes. You've just walked through your own mind and claimed it. Now let's bring this truth down to earth. Precision in thought means you no longer think carelessly. You no longer say, "I'm tired," when you mean "I need direction." You don't speak failure into your future just because you feel resistance. You become deliberate. You choose thoughts that serve the mission, not sabotage it. Faith means that when progress feels invisible, you don't dig up the seed to check if it's growing. You water it. You wait. You trust. You stop asking, "Is it working?" and start declaring, "It's unfolding." And day by day, the evidence comes. The conversations shift. The energy rises. The opportunities appear. Because now, your mind is no longer chaotic, it's coherent. Now I'll tell you the story of someone who applied what Napoleon taught. There was a woman named Lena, 36, from Mumbai. She worked hard, read the books, made the vision boards, but nothing truly stuck. Her mind was a whirlwind, 100 plans, 1,000 doubts. One day she heard this phrase, "My mind is my greatest asset, and I use it with precision and faith." She realized she had been treating her mind like a storage unit, full of everything, valuable and useless alike. So she made a decision. For 90 days, she practiced mental minimalism. She cleaned her inputs. No gossip, no pointless scrolling, no energy vampires. Every morning, she repeated the phrase. She wrote it before checking her phone. She asked herself before every action, "Does this sharpen my mind or dull it?" At first, the silence felt uncomfortable. Her old habit screamed for noise. But soon clarity came. Her work improved. Her ideas flowed. A promotion followed, then a raise. Not because the world changed, but because she did. Her mind had become her ally, not her adversary. Her precision created momentum. Her faith created peace. Now she teaches her team the same mantra, and her story has become their standard. Now it's your turn. Say it once more with a hand over your heart. My mind is my greatest asset, and I use it with precision and faith. Repeat it until the words don't feel like theory. They feel like truth. Until every distraction feels like theft. Until every doubt feels foreign. Because the day you treat your mind like your fortune is the day your fortune begins to grow. All right, next up is the third sentence, which goes, "Every thought I repeat with belief becomes my reality." Say it slowly. Every thought I repeat with belief becomes my reality. Pause, let that land. Because this isn't just poetry. This is mechanics, the physics of the mind. Your thoughts are not invisible. They're blueprints. Each one carries a vibration, a frequency, a pattern. And what you repeat, your subconscious builds, not because it understands English, but because it obeys emotion. Napoleon Hill called it autosuggestion, the act of feeding your mind with commands until they root so deeply that action becomes instinct. He said any idea, plan, or purpose may be placed in the mind through repetition of thought. Read that again. Any idea, any plan, any purpose. Your mind is not judging what's true, it's recording what's repeated. And if your life today looks familiar, if your struggles feel cyclical, if your fears sound rehearsed, it's not because life is unfair. It's because you've been reciting the wrong script. You've been telling your mind stories of limitation over and over until they became fact. But today you flip the script. Today you understand that repetition is not weakness, it's programming. And your subconscious doesn't need permission. It needs consistency. So say it again, with more certainty. Every thought I repeat with belief becomes my reality. You are not trying to convince the universe. You are training your own mind to see what's already possible. Close your eyes. Take a deep, slow breath and imagine standing in front of a vast construction site. The air is filled with light, soft dust, and quiet hums of creation. Everywhere you look, there are workers, steady, focused, loyal. They are your subconscious. They never rest. They don't question your orders. They build them. Now, in your hand, you hold a stack of blueprints. Each one is a thought, each one a command. Some are powerful. I am strong. I am worthy. I attract opportunity. Some are harmful. I'm unlucky. I'm too late. I don't deserve it. You watch as the workers gather whichever blueprint you hand them. No debate, no analysis. They build whatever you give them. Now you see the buildings they've already made. To your left, a tower of doubt. To your right, a hall of hesitation. Behind you, a maze of old habits. You exhale, you understand. You've been handing them the wrong plans. But today you start over. You reach into the stack, pull out a clean, glowing sheet. On it is written, "Every thought I repeat with belief becomes my reality." You hand it to the workers. They look at it once, nod, and begin moving. Immediately, scaffolds rise, foundations pour, beams appear from light itself. You see the shape forming, clarity, wealth, love, health. Each word you speak is a beam. Each belief, a wall. Each repetition, a floor higher. You start handing out more. I am capable. I am guided. I am abundant. I am safe. I am loved. The site hums louder now, vibrant, alive. A city of possibility takes form before your eyes. The more you speak, the faster they build. The more you believe, the stronger the structure becomes. You realize now your words are not whispers. They are orders. Your faith is the ink, your repetition, the hammer. And one day soon you'll walk through this city, every building a thought made visible, every street a pattern made permanent. Take another breath. You smile. The power is real. You've always had it. You just forgot to use it on purpose. Now open your eyes. What you just saw is not imagination, it's instruction. Because life is construction, and your subconscious doesn't care about what's fair. It only cares about what's familiar. So if you want a new life, you must make the new thought more familiar than the old one. And the only way to do that is repetition with belief, not forced belief. Felt belief, belief you build through evidence, patience, and consistency. Every time you repeat a thought, you're carving a groove in your nervous system. Once deep enough, it becomes your automatic response. You no longer try to be confident. You are. You no longer hope for wealth. You live as though it's certain, because your mind now believes, and the body always follows the mind. Now I'll share the story of someone who put Napoleon's principles into action. There was a man named Marcus, 28, from Chicago. He'd been broke, lost, bouncing from one job to another, always close, never crossing the finish line. Every time he tried something new, his mind whispered, "You'll fail again," and he believed it. One night, he stumbled upon this phrase, "Every thought I repeat with belief becomes my reality." Something in him paused. He realized he had been repeating failure, so he decided to repeat faith. Every morning and every night, he sat at the edge of his bed, hands over his heart, and spoke success into the silence. He didn't shout. He whispered, slow, steady, consistent. At first, it felt fake. By week 2, it felt familiar. By week 4, it felt true. By month 3, it felt automatic. He started showing up differently. Shoulders back, tone confident, decisions firm. Opportunities noticed, people responded. Money followed, not because the world suddenly changed, but because he became someone who expected things to work, and they did. Now, he teaches others. If you want a new life, speak it until your bones believe you, and they listen, because they can see the proof. Now it's your turn. Whisper it once, then say it again louder. Every thought I repeat with belief becomes my reality. Feel it in your chest. See it in your mind. Anchor it in your heart. Because your thoughts are not passing clouds, they are the weather patterns of your future. Repeat it once more, until the words no longer feel external. They feel like memory. Every thought I repeat with belief becomes my reality. That is the law. And from now on, you speak only what you are willing to live. Now we've got the fourth sentence, and it says, I attract wealth, opportunity, and success through discipline and service. Say it slowly. I attract wealth, opportunity, and success through discipline and service. Pause. Let the vibration settle, because wealth without purpose is weight. Opportunity without readiness is chaos. Success without service is emptiness. Napoleon Hill never glorified riches for their own sake. He taught that money is a mirror, reflecting the value you bring, the problems you solve, the excellence you embody. He said, if you want more, be more, give more, serve more. And here's the paradox. The disciplined man does not chase, he builds, he organizes, he shows up daily, and the world begins to orbit around his consistency, because the man of discipline is rare, and rarity is magnetism. The man of service is powerful, and power is irresistible. So when you combine them, discipline and service, you stop begging for wealth and start attracting it. You stop chasing opportunity and start becoming one. Say it again, with ownership. I attract wealth, opportunity, and success through discipline and service. Now close your eyes, take a deep breath, let your body soften, and step with your mind into a new landscape, a workshop made of light. The floor is marble, steady, grounded. The walls are shelves lined with tools, not of metal, but meaning. You stand in the center, wearing a robe of focus. In your hands, two instruments, a compass and a hammer. The compass represents discipline. It points always to true north. No matter the storm, no matter the noise, it never lies. You use it to align every decision, every hour, every choice. When the world screams later, your compass whispers now. When distraction tempts, it turns your hand back to purpose. The hammer represents service. It builds, it repairs, it creates value. You use it to construct what others need, to craft solutions, to offer excellence. Every swing is an act of love, every nail a promise kept. Look around your workshop. See the projects of your life, a business glowing with integrity, a craft honed by repetition, a path walked with purpose. You see others coming to your door, not to take but to trade. They bring gratitude. They bring opportunity. They bring wealth, freely given, because you have become useful. You realize now, you never needed to demand wealth. You needed to deserve it. And discipline plus service is the currency of deserving. Now walk to the edge of your workshop. Outside, a river flows, not of water, but golden energy. Each current carries abundance, each ripple an opportunity. The river bends toward you. Naturally, it's drawn to your order, to your offering. You dip your hand in, it's warm, steady, endless. You smile. You don't chase the river. You built the channel. You created the structure. You gave the world something to flow into. That's discipline. That's service. That's wealth. Take another deep breath and let this truth settle in your bones. Abundance is not hunted. It is harvested, and your harvest depends on your habits. Now, open your eyes. Discipline is your structure. Service is your signal. One builds the vessel. The other fills it. When you live this way, you no longer measure success by what you get, but by how much good you give. And the universe responds in kind. Because money, opportunity, and success are not rewards. They are reflections. Reflections of order and offering, of consistency and contribution. You want more wealth? Increase your discipline. You want more opportunity? Expand your service. You want lasting success? Anchor both. Daily. That's the unseen equation. Napoleon Hill discovered, not magic, mathematics, because value plus consistency equals sign magnetism. You become magnetic, not to everything, but to everything that matches your frequency of effort. and soon you notice it. The right calls, the right clients, the right timing, not coincidence, coherence. Now I'm going to tell you the story of someone who used what I'm about to reveal. There was a craftsman named Diego from Buenos Aires. He had skill, incredible skill, but no system. Some weeks he worked endlessly. Others he drifted, waiting for luck. Bills piled. Doubt grew. One day he heard the line, "I attract wealth, opportunity, and success through discipline and service." It hit him. He'd been trying to skip the first two words. He wanted wealth, but not structure. He wanted opportunity, but not offering. So he shifted. He made a rule: same hours, same effort, same excellence daily. Every client got more than they paid for. Every day ended with one act of service beyond himself. At first, nothing happened. But on week 3, a new client came. Then 2, then 5, then 20. Word spread. Diego never misses. Diego always delivers. His income doubled, then tripled, not because he shouted louder, but because his discipline spoke for him. His service sold him. Today, he trains apprentices, and when they ask his secret, he smiles and says, "I stopped chasing customers. I started serving kings." Now it's your turn. Say it again. With confidence, hand on your heart, I attract wealth, opportunity, and success through discipline and service. Whisper it once, then speak it like a vow, because this isn't about getting rich, it's about becoming reliable. And reliability is the foundation of riches. From today forward, every time you work, work with rhythm. Every time you serve, serve with reverence. And watch how wealth finds you, not as luck, but as loyalty. Repeat it again, slow and certain. I attract wealth, opportunity, and success through discipline and service. Let it echo, let it anchor, let it become. The 5th sentence is, I act with purpose, persistence, and faith, never with fear. Say it slowly. Let it vibrate through your chest. I act with purpose, persistence, and faith, never with fear. Because here's the truth. You cannot drift your way to destiny. You cannot hesitate your way into greatness. And you cannot fear your way into faith. Napoleon Hill said, "Faith and persistence are the foundation of all achievement. Without them, talent is wasted. Without them, dreams dissolve." Faith gives direction. Persistence gives duration. Purpose gives meaning. Together they form the holy trinity of creation. The compass, the engine, the map. So say it again. With strength I act with purpose, persistence, and faith, never with fear. You are not reacting to life anymore. You are commanding it. You move because your mission requires it, not because the moment feels comfortable. Now, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and imagine you are standing at the base of a great mountain. Its peak is hidden by clouds, distant, majestic, almost unreal. Around you, there are other travelers, some already turning back, some still deciding, some frozen by the size of the climb. You, however, take a step forward because you know something they've forgotten. Fear is loudest at the bottom. The higher you climb, the quieter it becomes. You look down at your hands. In your right, a torch, faith. In your left, a scroll, purpose. Across your shoulders, a cloak, persistence. You raise the torch. The light is soft, golden, steady. It doesn't show you the whole path, only the next few feet. And that's all you need. You unroll the scroll. Written upon it your mission, clear, simple, alive. Why you're climbing, who you're becoming, who you'll serve when you reach the summit. You tighten your cloak. It's heavy at first, then comforting. It reminds you, I don't stop, I don't fold, I endure. You take a step. The earth shifts, wind howls, fear whispers. What if you fail? Faith answers. What if I fly? You take another step. Fear whispers. What if it's too far? Purpose answers. Then I'll become stronger. You keep walking, step after step. Each one builds momentum. Each one strengthens belief. Each one chips away at doubt. And soon you realize you're not climbing for the summit. You're climbing for the strength. You're climbing for the becoming. Halfway up, the path narrows. Storm clouds gather. Rain lashes your face. The old you would have turned back, but not now. Now you know that storms don't stop you. They shape you. You lean into the wind. You repeat your phrase, I act with purpose, persistence, and faith, never with fear. Each repetition becomes a rhythm. Each rhythm becomes a drumbeat. Each drumbeat becomes your heartbeat. Boom, boom, boom. Purpose, persistence, faith. The storm begins to calm. The clouds thin. A beam of light pierces through, warm and alive. You look ahead. The summit is close now, but something has changed. You're no longer chasing it. You've already become the kind of person who climbs. The mountain is not your test. It's your mirror. At the top, you plant your torch. The flame flares brighter, lighting the sky, and you whisper, I didn't conquer the mountain. I conquered my hesitation. Take a deep breath. Feel that truth settle in. You didn't need certainty, only courage. You didn't need the whole path, only the next step, and you took it. Now open your eyes. That is what it means to act with purpose, persistence, and faith. You move, not because you know the outcome, but because you've chosen your direction. You persist, not because it's easy, but because quitting costs more. You trust, not because you're blind, but because your spirit sees farther than your eyes. And you never act with fear, because fear is not a signal to stop. It's a signal to start. Fear is the mind's way of saying you're leaving the old world. So next time you feel fear rise, don't fight it. Thank it, then move anyway, because fear fades in motion. Faith strengthens in movement, and persistence turns both into momentum. I'll tell you about someone who turned these ideas into results. There was a woman named Teresa, 43, from London. She dreamed of opening her own studio, art, design, and mentorship for women. But for years, she waited for the right moment, waited to feel ready, waited until fear left, but fear never did. Then one morning, reading Think and Grow Rich, she saw it. Faith and persistence are the foundation of all achievement. She realized she'd been negotiating with fear like it was truth. So she made a decision, 90 days of movement. Every day, one step, even small. Each action anchored in purpose. Each night ending with prayer, not for ease, but for endurance. Week 1, she registered the name. Week 2, she built the website. Week 4, she posted her first project. Week 6, her first client arrived. By week 12, she had a full calendar. But the real victory, she wasn't afraid anymore. Not because fear disappeared, but because faith got louder. Now, when people ask how she did it, she smiles and says, I stopped waiting for courage. I built it step by step. Now it's your turn. Say it again. Firm and grounded. I act with purpose, persistence, and faith, never with fear. Whisper it once more. Each time you say it, imagine another layer of doubt falling away. Each word carving strength into your spine. You are not led by comfort anymore. You are led by conviction. You don't wait for conditions. You create them. You don't hope for courage. You walk in it. Repeat it one last time. Slow, steady, anchored. I act with purpose, persistence, and faith, never with fear. This is how builders move. This is how destinies form. This is how mountains bow. You don't rush. You don't retreat. You rise. Now let's move on to the 6th sentence, which is, I am guided by a clear vision and a definite purpose. Say it slowly. I am guided by a clear vision and a definite purpose. Let the words settle in your mind like a compass, locking on true north, because drifting is the silent killer of potential. Distraction is the disease of the undirected. But clarity is power. Napoleon Hill called it definiteness of purpose. The master key to riches, the ignition spark of all achievement, Without it, you are a ship without a rudder. You move, but you never arrive. You act, but you never advance. But with it, with vision so clear you can describe it in a single sentence, with purpose so defined it wakes you before dawn, you become unstoppable, because life bends for the decisive. It respects direction. It rewards precision. So say it again. With intent, I am guided by a clear vision and a definite purpose. You don't wander anymore. You walk. You don't wish. You work. You don't react. You create. Now close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Let your chest rise. Slow, strong, steady, and imagine yourself standing in a great observatory. The floor beneath you is a smooth disk of glass. Beneath it, galaxies swirl, stars, planets, comets, all moving with divine order. You stand at the center, calm, awake. Before you, a large telescope points toward infinity. It's not pointed outward. It's pointed inward. You lean closer. Inside, you see visions. Your future, your calling, your masterpiece. At first, it's blurry, shapes, colors, flashes of moments you recognize but can't quite name. You adjust the focus. Slowly, deliberately, with every breath, the image sharpens. You see yourself calm, strong, purposeful. You're doing work that matters. You're surrounded by people who grow because of your presence. You move with confidence, clarity, conviction. No more confusion. No more hesitation. You speak, and your words carry weight. You act, and your actions ripple outward. Your vision is clear now. It's not just about wealth, it's about impact. It's not about escape, it's about expansion. You realize this is not fantasy. This is memory from the future, a preview of your potential. You reach out, touch the lens. It glows, and the vision steps out, becoming light flowing into your chest. You breathe in. The clarity settles behind your eyes. Now you see. Across the glass floor, the galaxies begin to align, the stars forming patterns, the orbits shifting, all organizing themselves around your vision. Because when your purpose is clear, everything else finds its place. No more scattered effort. No more wasted motion. No more borrowed dreams. You're guided now. Not by noise, but by knowing. Take another breath. Feel it. That hum in your bones, that stillness in your chest, that certainty in your step, that's purpose. That's vision. That's power. Now open your eyes. When you live without vision, every obstacle feels like a reason to stop. When you live with it, every obstacle feels like a test to prove you're ready, because vision gives meaning to the waiting. Purpose gives weight to your yes. Without a clear destination, even effort feels empty. But when you know why you're moving, the grind becomes grace. That's why Hill said the starting point of all achievement is definiteness of purpose. Not talent, not luck. Purpose. Because purpose is the magnet. It pulls ideas, people, timing, and favor into your orbit. You don't chase. You align. And vision is your map. It keeps you from wandering into someone else's dream. It reminds you that distraction is expensive and indecision is debt. So each morning, before the world wakes, you return to that vision. You revisit the feeling. You remind your mind, this is where we're going. This is who we are. And when fear tries to whisper, what if you fail? You smile and answer, what if I'm meant for this? Now I'm going to tell you the story of someone who used what I'm about to reveal. There was a man named Samuel, 33, from Toronto. Brilliant, talented, but scattered. He chased opportunities like a moth chasing lights. Bright, endless, empty. He worked hard, but never felt closer. One night he wrote down the question, what am I really here to do? And for the first time, he didn't answer with a job, he answered with a mission. He saw it. Empowering creators, building systems, teaching clarity. He wrote it in bold letters and taped it above his desk. Every morning he read it. Every night he refined it. He began saying aloud, I am guided by a clear vision and a definite purpose. At first it felt aspirational, By week 2, it felt true. By week 6, it became instinct. His choices simplified, his focus sharpened. Projects that didn't align, gone. People who didn't fit faded. Everything extraneous fell away. And soon new doors opened. Aligned clients, right mentors, real traction, because the world had finally met a man who knew what he wanted. Now he leads with vision, not vanity. And when people ask his secret, he smiles and says, I stopped trying everything. I started becoming someone. Now it's your turn. Say it once, gently. I am guided by a clear vision and a definite purpose. Again, louder. I am guided by a clear vision and a definite purpose. Feel it sit behind your eyes, like a compass you can trust. Feel it steady your heartbeat, like a rhythm you can follow. Feel it straighten your spine, like a mission too sacred to abandon. Because when your purpose is definite, your path becomes simple. And when your vision is clear, your faith becomes strong. Repeat it one more time, slow, anchored, alive. I am guided by a clear vision and a definite purpose. This is how builders see. This is how leaders live. This is how destiny unfolds. You are no longer searching. You are seeing. You are no longer guessing. You are guided. And now every step you take is a statement of certainty. I know where I'm going, and I know why. Now we've got the 7th sentence, and it says, I am rich in mindset, abundant in ideas, and fearless in execution. Say it slowly. Let every word strike like a drumbeat. I am rich in mindset, abundant in ideas, and fearless in execution. Pause. Breathe. Because richness isn't what you hold. It's what you see. It's what you expect. It's what you embody. Napoleon Hill said, success comes to those who become success conscious. Before wealth appears in your hands, it must first appear in your habits, in your thinking, your posture, your standards, your speech. To be rich in mindset means you no longer think in scarcity. You no longer measure opportunity by fear. You no longer ask, what if I lose? You ask, what if I win? Abundance in ideas means you see solutions everywhere. Problems become invitations. Limitations become laboratories. You stop competing for crumbs and start baking your own bread. Fearless execution means you stop waiting for perfect plans. You move with imperfect courage. You take action, decisive, immediate, consistent, because clarity is not found before movement. It's built during it. Say it again. With ownership, I am rich in mindset, abundant in ideas, and fearless in execution. Now close your eyes. Take a long breath in and out. Imagine yourself stepping into a great golden hall, walls high and gleaming, floors warm beneath your feet. This is your hall of mindset. To your left, a mirror, tall, ancient, alive. You walk closer. At first, you see your current reflection, your face, your posture, your familiar expression. But as you gaze, the mirror begins to ripple like water. Your image shifts, your shoulders square, your eyes sharpen, your presence expands. You are looking at your wealth identity, the version of you who knows how to lead, how to create, how to build, how to move with certainty. This version doesn't chase, he chooses. He doesn't react, he decides, he doesn't fear risk. He calculates it, acts, and adjusts. You step closer. The reflection steps closer too. You raise your hand. He raises his. And when your fingers touch the glass, the barrier dissolves. The version in the mirror steps forward, not as a stranger, but as your truth. You breathe him in. Your chest expands. Your back straightens. You feel grounded, rich in mindset, abundant in ideas, fearless in execution. Now in the center of the hall, you see 3 pillars, each glowing with light. The first is labeled mindset. You walk to it and place your hand upon the stone. It hums softly, and words begin to rise from its surface. I think in opportunity, not in lack. I invest my energy, not waste it. I am wealth, walking, breathing, building. You repeat them silently. Each repetition a seed, each seed a shift. You move to the second pillar, ideas. You lay your palm against it, and sparks of light erupt, swirling like galaxies. Each spark is a concept, a connection, a path. You realize ideas are infinite. You were never waiting for opportunity. Opportunity was waiting for you to notice. You whisper, I am a fountain of ideas. Solutions flow through me. Inspiration finds me ready. The lights swirl faster, then enter your mind, filling it with warmth, curiosity, vision. You walk to the final pillar, execution. The base trembles with power. You press your hand against it, and suddenly the hall shifts into a workshop. Tools, tables, blueprints. You see yourself building, sculpting, creating. Your movements are fluid, confident, bold. You don't hesitate. You act. Mistakes, you adjust. Obstacles, you adapt. Setbacks, you rise. You're fearless. Not because risk disappears, but because faith outweighs it. You whisper your phrase again, each word resonating through the hall. I am rich in mindset, abundant in ideas, and fearless in execution. The three pillars glow brighter, their lights merging into one radiant beam that descends into your heart. You feel it, a surge of conviction, the knowing that you are not a dreamer, you are a doer with vision. Take a breath. Let the hall fade. You're back here, but different. Anchored, awake, alive. Now open your eyes. Being rich in mindset means this. You stop asking, can I afford this? You start asking, how can I create the value to deserve it? Abundance in ideas means you know creativity isn't luck. It's a muscle built by curiosity. And fearless execution means you no longer wait for the fear to go away. You move until it can't keep up. Wealthy people think in cause and effect. Scarcity thinkers blame, rich thinkers build. They don't see obstacles. They see openings. They don't wait for permission. They give themselves the assignment. Napoleon Hill wrote, riches begin with a state of mind, with definiteness of purpose, with little or no hard work. Meaning, the riches begin the moment you adopt the mindset that they're possible. The work comes after. The mindset comes first. So stop rehearsing failure. Stop studying doubt. Start repeating this truth until it's no longer motivation. It's memory. You are not becoming wealthy. You are remembering that you already are, because your mind is the vault. Your ideas are the currency. Your courage is the key. Now listen to how one person transformed their life with these exact methods. There was a young man named Malik from London. He grew up hearing the same phrase, be realistic. And so he was realistic about his limits, realistic about his fears, realistic about staying small. But one day he heard a line that shook him, you cannot build $1 million life with a $100 mindset. He started repeating daily, I am rich in mindset, abundant in ideas, and fearless in execution. Every morning before opening his laptop, he whispered it. Every night before sleeping, he spoke it into the dark. At first, it felt distant. Then it began to shift his choices. He stopped consuming and started creating. He stopped comparing and started building. He stopped hesitating and started executing. By month 3, he had launched his first digital product. By month 6, his second. By month 9, his income surpassed his old salary, not because luck appeared, but because the rich version of him finally showed up. Now he tells others, the wealth didn't come after I earned it. It came after I embodied it. Now it's your turn. Say it once more, loud and proud. I am rich in mindset, abundant in ideas, and fearless in execution. Whisper it again, softer, deeper. I am rich in mindset, abundant in ideas, and fearless in execution. Because when you speak it, you don't just attract wealth, you activate it. You don't wait for the right time, you create it. You don't hope for courage, you walk in it. Every action from now on, every idea, every word, every plan flows from your identity of abundance. Repeat it one last time. Slow, certain, embodied, I am rich in mindset, abundant in ideas, and fearless in execution. You are no longer trying to think rich. You are remembering that you were born limitless, and now you act like it. The eighth sentence is, every challenge I face builds my strength, focus, and wisdom. Say it slowly. Every challenge I face builds my strength, focus, and wisdom. Pause. Feel how the words shift the energy in your chest. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are the architect forged by them. Napoleon Hill wrote, "Strength and growth come only through continuous effort and struggle." He knew. Adversity is not the enemy. It's the forge. It's the classroom. It's the crucible where weakness burns away and character is born. Most people run from challenge. They see resistance as rejection. But the wise, they see resistance as refinement. They understand that life is a gym, and every obstacle is a weight designed to strengthen what you said you wanted. So when the trial comes, don't ask, why me? Ask, what's this building? Because the strongest steel is forged in the hottest flame. And every time life turns up the heat, it's not trying to destroy you. It's trying to define you. Say it again, with power. Every challenge I face builds my strength, focus, and wisdom. You are not shrinking, you are sharpening. Now close your eyes. Take a deep breath, and imagine yourself walking through a vast ancient temple. The walls are carved from stone, lined with torches that flicker golden light. You walk barefoot, steady, grounded, awake, in your hand. A staff carved with symbols of your journey, victories, lessons, moments you've survived. At the end of the hall stands a great door. Across it, etched in silver, the words "Trial Chamber," "Enter and Rise." You push it open. Inside, a circle of fire glows, not to burn, but to baptize. It hums with energy, heat, and truth. Above the flames, you see reflections of every challenge you faced. Moments of loss, rejection, failure, confusion. Each one appears as a floating ember, spinning, glowing, alive. You step closer. You see your past clearly now, not as pain, but as practice. The first ember floats before you, a moment of heartbreak. You reach out, and when your fingers touch it, you feel warmth, not sorrow. Inside it, a lesson whispers. Now you know how to love without losing yourself. It fades into your chest, filling you with compassion and strength. Another ember approaches. A time you failed publicly, painfully. You touch it, and it speaks. Now you know that failure isn't final. It's feedback. It sinks into your spine, making it straighter, stronger. Another ember, a betrayal. You touch it. It whispers. Now you can discern between those who clap and those who care. It settles in your heart, turning bitterness into clarity. One by one, the embers circle you, each challenge now returning as a gift. Not curses, but calluses. Not wounds, but wisdom. The fire begins to swirl around you, lifting you gently into the air. It doesn't hurt. It heals. It burns away old fear, old self-doubt, old fragility. You emerge from the flame taller, clearer, calmer. Your eyes shine with steadiness. Your heartbeat is slow and strong. You no longer fear the storm. You are the calm within it. The fire dims. The chamber glows. And a voice, deep, ancient, familiar, whispers. You asked for strength, so life gave you struggle. You asked for wisdom, so life gave you mistakes. You asked for focus, so life gave you obstacles. You asked for growth, so life gave you time. Take a deep breath. You bow your head in gratitude. And as you walk out, you realize every challenge was never against you. It was assigned to you, because destiny doesn't test the weak. It trains the chosen. Now open your eyes. Every challenge you face has two doors. One leads to resentment, the other to revelation. You choose. When you choose revelation, you become unstoppable, because now nothing is wasted. Every delay becomes discipline, every setback, a setup, every failure, a frame for your next victory. That's how the powerful think. That's how the wealthy move. That's how the wise rise. You begin to welcome resistance, not because it feels good, but because it means you're alive in the process. You start saying, "This is teaching me how to endure. This is sharpening my patience. This is sculpting my perspective." And over time, life's punches don't push you down. They push you forward. You realize grace isn't avoiding the storm. It's walking through it without losing your peace. Hill said, "Every adversity carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit, but the seed must be planted. And planted seeds need time. So stop judging your challenges by the pain they bring. Judge them by the power they're building. Each trial is a teacher. Each obstacle, a mirror. Each storm, a sculptor. And you are the masterpiece in progress." Here's a true story of a person who put these teachings into practice. There was a woman named Aisha, 35, from Lagos. She built a small business, heart, hustle, hope. But every few months, something hit her. Delays, supply problems, betrayal, loss. Each time she thought, maybe I'm not meant for this. Until one day she stumbled upon a line from Napoleon Hill, "Strength and growth come only through continuous effort and struggle." It flipped a switch. She realized struggle wasn't proof she was failing. It was proof she was forming. She began repeating, "Every challenge I face builds my strength, focus, and wisdom." Every morning, over tea, every night, before sleep. When a shipment got lost, she breathed, repeated, learned. When a client disappeared, she adapted, persisted, grew. When fear whispered, she answered with focus. Months later, the tide turned. Her systems were tighter, her confidence unshakable, her vision laser sharp. Now, when new entrepreneurs ask her secret, she smiles and says, "I stopped fearing the fire. I learned to cook in it. Now it's your turn." Say it once gently. "Every challenge I face builds my strength, focus, and wisdom." Say it again, louder with conviction. "Every challenge I face builds my strength, focus, and wisdom." Feel it settle into your bones. Feel the weight lift. You don't run anymore. You rise. Because adversity doesn't mean you're breaking. It means you're being built. Repeat it one last time. Slow, steady, certain. Every challenge I face builds my strength, focus, and wisdom. You are not the same person who entered the fire. You are the one who learned to use it. And from now on, no challenge will ever feel like the end, only the edge of a greater beginning. Now let's move on to the 9th sentence, which is, I speak only words that align with success, faith, and prosperity. Say it gently. I speak only words that align with success, faith, and prosperity. Feel how that sounds in your chest. Strong, clean, certain. Because every word you speak is a seed. You are planting with your mouth, watering with your repetition, and harvesting with your reality. Most people speak without awareness. They narrate their fears, they echo their limitations, they gossip their goals into weakness. They say, "I can't," and their mind obeys. They say, "I'm broke," and their subconscious locks it in. They joke about failure, and their nervous system records it as instruction, but not you, not anymore. From this moment forward, your words are aligned. They're instruments, not noise. They're architecture, not accidents. They're commands, not complaints. Because the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between a joke and a judgment. It takes everything literally. It hears, believes, executes, so every time you say, "I'm unlucky," it rearranges your perception to find proof. Every time you say, "Nothing ever works," it filters opportunities out. But every time you declare, "I'm guided, I'm growing, I'm gaining," the subconscious moves mountains to make it so. Say it again, slow, like you mean it. I speak only words that align with success, faith, and prosperity. Now close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And imagine yourself standing in a great hall made entirely of mirrors. Each mirror reflects not your image, but your words. Every phrase you've spoken. Some glow golden, radiant, strong, alive. Others flicker dimly, heavy, uncertain. You walk forward. Each step echoes softly across the marble floor. And before you, a pedestal rises. On it rests a scroll, sealed with red wax. You open it. Inside, a message. Your words are wands. Use them with reverence. You look around. The mirrors shimmer. Each one shows a memory, a moment when you spoke against yourself. A sigh, a joke, a quiet complaint. You see the ripple each word created, tiny waves spreading outward into your life, shaping moods, moments, outcomes. You step closer. Place your hand on one of the mirrors. You whisper, I release every word that limited me. I reclaim every syllable I surrendered to doubt. The mirror clears. The image fades. In its place, light begins to form words, new ones. I am capable. I am growing. I am enough. I am in progress and in power. The light rises, surrounds you, fills your throat. You feel warmth there, a golden vibration, steady and calm. And then a voice, soft but commanding, speaks from within. Your tongue is the pen of creation. Your speech is the blueprint of destiny. Speak as if your words will become flesh, because they will. You nod, you understand. You breathe deeply, and when you exhale, your breath glows, visible, golden. You realize every breath you release is either building or breaking something. So from now on, you speak to build. You speak blessings, not barriers. You declare direction, not doubt. You release faith, not fear. Now open your eyes. Feel the shift, your throat open, your voice grounded, your words sacred. You've heard it said, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Hill knew this. He wrote that autosuggestion, repeated emotional words, reprogram the subconscious. And the subconscious, once convinced, moves heaven and earth to obey. This is why you must monitor your language, not like a prisoner, but like a craftsman. Because language is not decoration, it's design. You can speak your way out of alignment, or you can speak your way into expansion. Words like, I always get what I need. I'm becoming more focused every day. Opportunities are drawn to me. I'm grateful and growing. These are not affirmations. They're activations. Each repetition is a signal. Each signal, a summons. And soon reality responds. So stop saying, I'm tired, and start saying, I'm recharging. Stop saying, I'm stuck, and start saying, I'm being redirected. Stop saying, I'm unlucky, and start saying, I'm learning the laws of luck. Your life follows your language. Always, I want to share a story about someone who used the very principles I'm revealing right now. There was a man named Jonathan, 41, from New York. Smart, skilled, but negative. Every setback he'd joke, story of my life. Every delay he'd sigh, figures, nothing ever works out. He thought he was venting. He was programming. His subconscious built what he spoke. A cycle of near misses, false starts, self-sabotage, until one day he stumbled on Hill's line. Your only limitations are those you set up in your own mind. He realized his mind had been quoting him. He decided to go silent for 24 hours. No complaints, no jokes, no I can't. It was hard. But by day 3, he felt lighter. By day 7, sharper. By day 30, he spoke like a different man. His new language, I'm guided, I'm growing. Everything is training me. 3 months later, he got a promotion he hadn't even applied for. When asked how it happened, he said, I stopped arguing for my limits. Now it's your turn. Say it softly, with awareness. I speak only words that align with success, faith, and prosperity. Say it again, stronger. I speak only words that align with success, faith, and prosperity. And once more, as if carving it into your identity, I speak only words that align with success, faith, and prosperity, because your words are not decoration, they are direction. Your voice is not background noise, it's the steering wheel of your subconscious. So from now on, if it doesn't build, don't say it. If it doesn't bless, don't speak it. If it doesn't align, release it. You are now a craftsman of language, a builder of belief, a speaker of destiny. So go ahead, Speak with purpose. Speak with power. Speak your future into being. Now we've got the 10th sentence, and it says, I surround myself with visionaries, builders, and believers. Say it slowly. I surround myself with visionaries, builders, and believers. Let the words move through you like a declaration, because who you walk with determines where you walk to. Your circle is your mirror. Your environment is your echo. You cannot soar with those who fear the sky. You cannot expand among those who cling to comfort. Napoleon Hill discovered that behind every extraordinary achievement stood not one, but a collective, a mastermind alliance. Two or more minds, working together in harmony, focused on one purpose, generate a third mind, an invisible intelligence greater than the sum of its parts. It's not just friendship, it's fusion, a convergence of energy, belief, and focus that multiplies momentum. That's why this affirmation matters, because proximity is power, and the people beside you either water your potential or whisper you back into mediocrity. Say it again, slow and certain. I surround myself with visionaries, builders, and believers. You're no longer collecting people. You're curating purpose. Now close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Feel your chest expand. Steady, calm, open. Imagine yourself standing on a mountain plateau at dawn. The air is crisp, golden light spilling across endless valleys. You're not alone. Around you, figures begin to appear. Men and women of presence, power, and peace. They walk toward you, calm, grounded, eyes bright with purpose. One by one, they gather in a circle. You feel their energy, steady, focused, warm. Each one represents a force you need on this journey. One carries the flame of vision. They see what others miss. Their eyes are always on horizons, not ceilings. One holds the tools of the builder. Their hands are calloused, their heart disciplined. They turn dreams into structures, ideas into action. One radiates faith, a believer in things unseen, a keeper of light in dark seasons. They speak when doubt whispers. They remind you what's possible. You stand among them, shoulder to shoulder, breath aligned. Above you, clouds swirl and shape themselves into symbols. Bridges, towers, paths. A voice rises from the wind. Not one voice, but many speaking as one together. We create what none could build alone. In unity, we find momentum. In harmony, we find power. You take a step forward. The ground glows beneath your feet. You feel the energy flow between every member of the circle, an invisible thread connecting heart to heart, mind to mind. This is the mastermind, a field of shared belief, amplified vision, unstoppable will. You realize you don't need millions. You need alignment. You don't need applause. You need allies. You look at each face. They nod, knowing this is your council, your tribe, your mirror. They remind you, you are not alone in your purpose. You are part of something greater, a network of dreamers turned doers, believers turned builders. Take a deep breath. Feel the circle close. Feel the surge of certainty that you are walking with those who sharpen you. Now open your eyes. Hill wrote, no two minds ever come together without creating a third, invisible, intangible force, which may be likened to a third mind. That's why the greats didn't isolate. They assembled. They formed alliances built on faith, respect, and shared intention. Your circle is either a council of creation or a committee of excuses. So look around. Who do you allow to speak into your spirit? Who do you share your dreams with? Who challenges your limits instead of comforting your fears? Visionaries stretch you. Builders ground you. Believers sustain you. When you walk with them, you rise faster, you fail forward, you think bigger, you believe deeper. And when your energy falters, their faith carries you across the gap, because sometimes the bridge to your next level is not a plan, it's a person. So stop seeking validation, start seeking vibration. Surround yourself, not with those who ask, can you, but with those who remind you, you already are. Now I'm going to tell you the story of someone who used what I'm about to reveal. Elena, 53, from France, a talented designer, creative, but stuck. Her circle doubted everything. Be realistic. Don't aim too high. Maybe later. And so her vision shrank, not because she lacked skill, but because she lacked mirrors of possibility. Then one day she joined a small group. Artists, entrepreneurs, believers, they shared goals, challenges, progress. They didn't compete. They compounded. Each week they spoke words of vision. Each meeting they celebrated growth. Soon her pace changed. Her ideas bolder. Her confidence louder. Her results undeniable. She said, I stopped asking for permission from people who never built anything. I started walking with people who do. And her business tripled in a year. Not magic. Mastermind. Now it's your turn. Say it softly. I surround myself with visionaries, builders, and believers. Say it again, louder, with pride. I surround myself with visionaries, builders, and believers. Once more, slow, anchored, certain. I surround myself with visionaries, builders, and believers. Feel how your energy shifts. You are no longer walking alone. You're walking in alignment. From now on, if they don't expand you, they don't accompany you. If they don't see your vision, they can't shape your path. Your network is your nest. Build it with care, fill it with faith, because one visionary can inspire you, one builder can sharpen you, one believer can sustain you. Together they form the wind beneath your wings. Repeat it again. I surround myself with visionaries, builders, and believers. This is how leaders rise. This is how destinies converge. This is how ordinary becomes legendary. All right? Next up is the final sentence, which goes, I am already becoming the person I was destined to be. Say it gently. I am already becoming the person I was destined to be. Let the words wrap around you like a promise fulfilled. You're not chasing anymore. You're unfolding. You're not waiting. You're awakening. Every step you take, every thought you shift, every belief you embody, it's not progress toward someone else. It's remembrance of who you've always been. Because destiny is not something out there. It's the blueprint written within. And the moment you walk in alignment with it, it begins to bloom. So say it again. Slowly, reverently, I am already becoming the person I was destined to be. You're not forcing growth. You're allowing evolution. The seed doesn't chase the flower. It contains it. It just needs soil, sunlight, and time. You too already hold the code of your greatness, and every act of faith, every word of power, every day of discipline, waters it, nurtures it, brings it closer to bloom. Now close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Let your chest rise. Hold. Exhale slowly. Imagine yourself walking through a long corridor made of light. The walls shimmer, soft gold, glowing softly. This is the hall of becoming. Each step you take forward, you pass through a veil, and with every veil, something old falls away. The first veil, fear. You walk through it. It dissolves like smoke. You feel lighter. The second veil, doubt. You step in. It fades like mist. You feel clearer. The third veil, hesitation. You walk through, and in its place, certainty. You begin to notice your posture shifts. Your breath slows. Your eyes steady. You're not walking toward destiny. Your walking is destiny. Ahead, the corridor opens into a great chamber. Walls carved with symbols of purpose, faith, abundance, discipline. In the center stands a mirror, tall, silent, radiant. You walk closer. Your reflection stands waiting, not older, not younger, but whole. This is you, the destined version, the realized one, the one who already walks in mastery, speaks with clarity, creates with faith. They smile, warm, knowing. You step closer. You raise your hand. They mirror you. Your fingers touch the glass and it dissolves. You merge, not metaphorically, energetically. The two become one. A rush of light fills you. Warm, alive, peaceful. It moves through your body like remembering a song you once knew by heart. You whisper, I am already becoming the person I was destined to be, and the walls echo back, you always were. You look down, your hands glow with calm certainty. Your heart beats like a drum of purpose. Your mind is silent, steady. You don't need to ask, am I ready? You realize, I'm becoming, therefore I am. This is not becoming through effort, but through embodiment. You don't have to prove destiny. You have to permit it. Take one final breath. Anchor it in your body, then open your eyes. Every transformation has 3 stages. Belief, I think I can. Becoming, I act as if. Being, I am. You are now in stage 3, not chasing goals, but living identity. Hill taught, success comes to those who become success conscious. It's not about reaching. It's about recognizing. You've reprogrammed your mind. You've aligned your language. You've refined your circle. You've built new rituals. And now you're walking in the evidence, because your daily habits aren't random. They're proof. Your new focus isn't coincidence. It's confirmation. Everything you've done over these 90 days, every affirmation, every challenge, every step, wasn't about changing what you do. It was about changing who you are. And now you don't try to live as your higher self. You are your higher self in progress, in motion, in mastery. Let me tell you about someone who used what Napoleon revealed. Ravi, 41, from Mumbai. For years, he said, I'm trying to become better, always trying, always almost. Then one day he read Hill's line, you are the master of your fate and the captain of your soul. And something shifted. He stopped saying, I'm trying. He started saying, I'm becoming. And soon after, I am, the change was subtle, but seismic. He stopped waiting for signs. He started moving as proof. He stopped asking for permission. He started acting from power. And within months, his business doubled, his health improved, his peace deepened. He said, when I stopped chasing change, I became it. Now it's your turn. Say it softly, with reverence. I am already becoming the person I was destined to be. Say it again, louder, certain. I am already becoming the person I was destined to be. And once more, slow, steady, anchored, I am already becoming the person I was destined to be. You don't have to fight for your future. You have to flow into it. You don't need to build your worth. You need to remember it. You're not lost. You're unfolding. You're not behind. You're becoming. Every breath you take, every choice you make, every word you speak is sculpting the masterpiece you were meant to reveal. Repeat it. One last time, from the soul. I am already becoming the person I was destined to be, because destiny isn't waiting at the finish line. It's walking beside you. Now, here, alive. And the moment you see yourself as becoming, you realize you've already begun to be. You've just spoken 11 keys of transformation, not words, but codes. Each phrase you repeated planted a seed. Each visualization rewired your belief, and each breath brought you closer to who you were meant to be. Now, your journey isn't someday. It's now. You're already becoming. So if this message spoke to your soul, type in the comments, I am already becoming. Let that be your declaration, your signature on destiny. And remember, listen to this daily. Speak it. Live it. Let it shape you, because you are no longer searching for your purpose. You're walking in it. If you're ready to keep evolving, subscribe, and let's continue this journey together. You've begun. Now become.